Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends, Wooden Railway Adventures, Episode 180, Vicarstown Takedown. The next morning, Sir Topham Hatt stopped by the sheds to make an important announcement. After much thought, he said happily, I have decided to keep both Stafford and Ryan on the railway. The engines were quite shocked by the news. I thought you were going to send one of them away, sir, asked Toby. What happened? Well, they both worked very hard, so I thought it would be appropriate if they were rewarded. Ah, Stafford, thanks for joining us. I'm happy to announce that you'll be staying with us here on Sodor. Stafford was pleasantly surprised. Oh, wow, he gasped. Thank you, sir. But what about Ryan? He will be staying as well, said Sir Topham Hatt, although I can't for the life of me figure out where he's gone. Ah, Ryan, there you are. I have some excellent news to tell you. Sir Topham Hatt, he cried, there's trouble down at the Vicarstown rolling bridge. Big trouble. Why, what's the matter? Asked Sir Topham Hatt curiously. There's a diesel from the other railway that's derailed by the tracks, sir. And there's something else going on, too. The engines gasped at the news. It's an invasion, cried Henry. Calm down, said Sir Topham Hatt. I'm sure there's an explanation to this. We'll worry about that diesel in no time. Come celebrate with us, Ryan. I'm happy to announce that you're... Sir, please, shouted Ryan. Ben's been taken to the other railway for scrap. Everyone immediately fell silent. What did you just say? Asked Sir Topham Hatt. I said that Ben is trapped on the other railway and they're going to scrap him, sir. That's what the diesel by the tracks told me. Sir Topham Hatt's happy expression quickly turned stoic. Take me there, now, he said, and Ryan puffed quickly away. The two arrived to find Sydney derailed by the side of the line, as well as something else equally surprising. What is this? Said Sir Topham Hatt. What are you all doing here? There were steam engines lined up on the tracks preparing to enter Sodor. Who are you all? Asked Sir Topham Hatt. What do you think you're all doing, trying to enter my railway? Apologies, sir, said the engine. My name is Hero, this is Connor, and that's Caitlin. We work for the mainland railway. Well, I can see that, exclaimed Sir Topham Hatt. And why are you all here this morning? Are those passengers? Yes, replied Connor. We're simply obeying orders, sir. What orders? Asked Sir Topham Hatt. The ones you sent us a few days ago, said Caitlin. You sent a telegram to our railway saying we could bring passengers and rolling stock over the bridge starting today. Preposterous, shouted Sir Topham Hatt. I did no such thing. Now please, go back to where you came from. I do not allow mainland engines to simply puff across the Vicarstown rolling bridge whenever they feel like it. Just then, Ryan remembered what he saw a few days ago. The railway inspector had been going through Sir Topham Hatt's office at Sudbury Station. Sir, they're right, he said. Someone did approve of this. Well, who was it? Asked Sir Topham Hatt. Because it obviously wasn't me. You're right, said Ryan. It was the railway inspector. I tried to tell you this, but you ignored me, sir. I saw him at your office at Sudbury Station a few days ago, right before he left. Sir Topham Hatt was shocked. So this is how the inspector repays me, he muttered. He sent a message to the other railway and approved of these mainland engines to come visit me. Why don't you let other engines across the bridge anyway? Asked Ryan. Ever since Diesel 10 started playing games with our railway, I've restricted the travel of engines across this bridge for security reasons. It appears that the railway inspector decided to change this, as he knew it would cause confusion and delay. I don't mean to rush you, sir, said Hero, but could you please let us onto your railway? Connor and Caitlin's passengers are not going to be pleased if they're late. Where are those passengers going to go to? Asked Sir Topham Hatt. There's no room on the itinerary. Just to Vicarstown Station, that's all, said Connor. We don't want to impose more on your railway than we already have. Sir Topham Hatt couldn't believe this turn of events. Suddenly, engines from the other railway were going to be crossing the bridge and entering Sodor whenever they felt like it. Very well, said Sir Topham Hatt. I can't turn away the passengers because we need as many people as possible riding on our trains, due to the inspector's terrible review. And what about Sydney here? Asked Ryan. Indeed, said Sir Topham Hatt. What are you doing here again, old friend? Sidney chuckled. I've decided that the other railway is no longer the place for me. I was wondering if I could join yours. I know I've made some bad decisions in the past, but I'm ready for a fresh start. Sir Topham Hatt wasn't convinced, but he didn't have much of a choice. I suppose since I'm letting all of these engines in, it would be rude of me not to extend the invite to you. And I see you found the second car to the Sodor Railway repair while you were at it. The what? Asked Sidney. Who's that? Agreed Ryan. Nothing, said Sir Topham Hatt quietly, but it appears there's still some hope for our good old friend. Very well then. Welcome, Hero, Connor, Caitlin, and Sidney. I presume we're going to meet more of your friends in the coming days? Not too many, replied Hero. There aren't too many steam engines left on our railway now that the diesels are in charge. Just then, Ryan remembered why he found Sir Topham Hatt in the first place. Sir, what about Ben? He asked quickly. We'll get him out of there, don't worry. Now let's get this mess cleaned up and alert the other engines to our new arrivals. The news spread rapidly around Sodor. The engines couldn't believe what they were hearing. This is nothing but trouble, said Edward. For years, Sir Topham Hatt hasn't allowed engines from the other railway onto Sodor. I guess that's all about to change now. Terrible decision, remarked Donald. It will be a free-for-all, let me tell you. You know what this means, said Thomas quietly. With a clear bridge to the island of Sodor, Diesel 10 could be plotting something very sinister. And his friends could be up to trouble too, agreed Stepney. That Sidney fellow could just be a decoy for something bigger that's going on. What are we going to do? Asked James. We were worried that Stafford and Ryan were going to get sent away. But with all of these new engines coming to the island, they might take our jobs and we could all be sent packing. Don't forget about Ben, said Donald. He needs rescuing too. Sir Topham Hatt's engines were mightily scared of what lay ahead. That evening, Oliver and Toad puffed up to the Vicarstown rolling bridge. Mr. Oliver, I reckon we shouldn't be over near this part of the island. One of those big mainland engines might come zooming over that bridge and squash us. Oliver wasn't fazed, however. There's something going on over there, Toad. Something pretty important. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to find out.